What's up, YouTube fam? It's Patrick. As always, so good to share another Wednesday practice session with y'all. Before we begin this video, make sure to hit the like button, and after you finish, leave a comment. Let me know how it went. It's cool to see so many of y'all digging last week's practice. A lot of stability work in there. In this week's session, we're going to move from the sky to the ground and have some fun along the way. So I'll meet you on the mat. So as you find your mat space, go ahead and step your feet a little bit wider than maybe you normally would. So they're a little bit outside of the hips, and just allow your hips to circle around a touch here, move around in space. Just oil up the joints a bit, if you will. You can let the shoulders, arms, and spine get involved in the equation a bit here. Keep your eyes open so you can just navigate and understand your surroundings. Begin to add a bend into your knees, leaning right, leaning left, getting just a bit of movement going on here. And then settle in. Bend your knees as if you're going towards a goddess pose. Push your tailbone back in space and see if you can lift your chest up just slightly. So you're not going into your deepest position right now, but just one for this moment. So just going to feel a little bounce here. And as you feel this bounce, notice if you're going up and down. And then see it's as if you can go down a ski jump that's behind you. So you're going down and then sitting back and then lift up. Go down, sit back, lift up. So you're exploring just a little bit more depth, trying to keep your chest lifted, keep your gaze forward and neutral, and find a good rhythm to moving through your legs here. Find your deepest spot, push through your big toes, lift your chest, sink down and in. Hold nice and steady. Breathe nice and consistently. Straighten your legs. Rise back up. Take a moment. Feel your legs just kind of absorbing the energy of the practice, if you will. And then from here, take an inhale. Exhale, sit back down into your goddess pose, active squat position. We're going to rotate off the left big toe and twist over the right shoulder, coming into a low lunge. Sit your right knee as far forward as you can, and then unwrap back to center. Twist over your left shoulder, roll onto your right big toe. Stretch your left knee as far forward as possible. Twist back to center. Over your right shoulder, you turn. Right knee goes forward, left knee goes down. Return to center. Twist over your left shoulder, left knee goes forward. Right knee goes down. Return to center. Sit low. Hips back. Exhale, straighten legs. Find your standing. Feel your heart beating. All of a sudden, when you're working and warming up through the legs, things begin to change quite quickly. We're going to add a little bit more on this round. So feel that good push through your feet. Inhale, get a little bit taller. Exhale, settle your energy. Inhale to prepare. And then exhale, sit down in towards your goddess pose. Chest is lifted, hips sitting back in space. Take the inhale, twist over your right shoulder, right knee chases forward, left knee chases down. And now push your hips back in space, left knee stays low, right leg straightens. Bend your right knee, reach it out towards the top of the mat. Unravel, twist to center. Twist over your left shoulder, sink down towards the back of the mat. Left knee reaches out as far as it can. Keep your right knee low. Push your hips back in space as you straighten your left leg. Bend your left knee again. Sink your hamstring towards your calf. And then return to center. Twist over your right shoulder. Sink your right knee forward. Left knee reaches down towards the ground. Keep your left knee low. Try to straighten your right leg. Play the bounce and instability of it. Sink your right knee back forward. Twist to center. Inhale. Over your left shoulder. Exhale. Sink your left knee down. Push your hips back in space, straightening your left leg. Bend your left knee. Sink down and into it. Twist back to center. Catch your balance. Take an inhale. Exhale. Sink down and back. Find your stability. And straighten your legs. Goodness. Hope not only that you're feeling your legs are working, but you're also creating space. Like if you were time-lapsing this video, or maybe you're just noticing on your own practice, all of a sudden your feet probably started here, right? But now they're just naturally moving out. They're naturally creating more space because all these movements really help you move through your hips in a very functional and stable way. One more round, exact same work. Take an inhale to prepare. Activate your glutes on your exhale. Push the hips slightly forward. Inhale. And then exhale, sink down and back. Chest is lifted, knees opening up. Twist over your right shoulder. Right knee chases forward. Left knee chases the floor. Push your hips back in space, straightening your right leg. Bend your right knee, sink down. Peel yourself open through center and to your left knee. Sink forward. Push your hips back. Straighten your left leg. Bend your left knee. Sink forward. Twist back to center. Twist over your right shoulder. Sink forward. Push your hips back. Straighten your right leg. Push your right knee out in front of you. Twist back through center. Hips stay low. Roll over your right toes. Sink your left knee as far forward as you can. Push your hips back. Try to keep your right knee low. Bend your left knee. Sink down. Return to center. Take an inhale here. Exhale, sit low, and then push your hips back in space. Heart stays at the same height. It's kind of what my hands are for. I'm like lifting my chest in towards my hands. And then exhale, straighten your legs. Wonderful job. Push through your big toes. Pivot your heels out. Take an inhale. And exhale, fold down. Feel the spilling forward of your upper body, melting you down, dropping you down towards the ground. Maybe try to push the hips back in space a bit here too. See if it helps you get into the legs just a touch more. And notice what it's like to warm up from the feet. Inhale, rise. Up to stand. Take an inhale here. Pivot your right toes towards the top of the mat. On your exhale, sink down into your right knee, warrior two. Drive into the outer edge of your left foot. Feel the connection to your core here. Reach your right hand out in front of you. Reach your left hand back in space. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, sink in. Work your stability here. Engage your core. It's always nice to come back to the focus of the midsection lifting when you're in a long held standing posture. And the reason for that is your legs are obviously already doing the work and you're controlling that based on how deep you sit into the pose. But the core really connects the work of your lower body with your upper body. You want to acknowledge that. One more inhale here. On your exhale, straighten your right leg. Pivot all toes to face left, and then left toes to the back of the mat. Inhale here, and on your exhale, sink down, warrior two, to the back of your mat. Drive through the outer edge of your right foot, reach through your hands. Big breath in, exhale, sink down. Big breath in, exhale, sink down. Push through the outer edge of your right foot. Drive through your left big toe. Feel the lift through your inner arches and the strength in your back right foot. Trust your balance here. Look over your left hand. Find your stability. One more inhale. On your exhale, straighten your left leg. All toes pivot to the left. Inhale and exhale. Fold. Melt down. Bend the knees if you need to. Sway around if loosening up some of that space here feels good. This can be very similar to our first few movements of practice when you're just kind of being your authentic self, if you will. Not being trained, not trying to be specific or technical. Then go ahead and return to center. And inhale, rise up. We'll add a little bit more on here. Take an inhale to prepare. On your exhale, pivot your right toes towards the top of the mat. Bend your right knee deeply. Warrior two. Sink into it. Reach through your hands. Take an inhale here. Lift your lower belly. Then exhale, try to drop down and in just a bit more. Really push through the outer edge of your left foot. Another inhale here to stabilize you. And then lean out towards half moon. So drag your right heel underneath you to pick your left foot up off the ground. Feel the instability of what it's like to all of a sudden be on one foot. While you've worked through the legs a tremendous amount today, it has always been on 2 feet. Can you bend your right knee here and then begin to roll your left hip down towards the floor? Have your hands at heart center as you lift through your left big toe. Chest is out in front of you, gaze is out in front of you. Take an inhale. Exhale, push through your right big toe, straighten your right leg. Try to get longer here, even as you flirt with the instability of it. Bend your right knee. Return your left foot to its starting position. Straighten your right leg. All toes pivot left. Inhale here. Exhale, left toes pivot towards the back of the mat. Exhale, sink into your left knee. Open into warrior two. Big breath here. Exhale, settle into the posture. Root into your left big toe a bit more. Again, engage your core. Let that be part of the equation. Now your journey is to half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. So lean out, but as you do, drag the left heel underneath you. It helps you pluck your right foot up off the floor. Push into your left big toe. Get long through your skull. You can reach your hands down towards the floor, one towards the floor, one towards the sky, of course, if you want. But try to not let them touch anything. Play the game of balance right now. Bend your left knee. Roll your right hip down towards the floor, but keep lifting the inside of your right ankle up. Crouching warrior. See if you can breathe in a little bit more. Lift to the chest. And then exhale, drive to straighten your left leg. Feeling your reach. Bend your left knee. Let your right foot land in its starting position. Return to center. Take an inhale here. And exhale, fold down. Melting towards the floor. Find softness here. And as you come to this space, plant your hands on the floor. Bend your knees. Keep your arms straight. And then just circle your hips around. You're placing some weight in the hands. Just a nice way to warm up the wrists. A nice break in between our standing poses. Because we will go to the ground soon. When we go to the ground, we will use our hands. Right? Practice starting in the sky and then landing gracefully on the earth. Return to center. Pivot the heels out. Find your fold for a moment. Inhale, rise up. Right toes pivot towards the top of the mat. Take an inhale. Exhale, sink into your right knee. Open your arms up. Inhale. Exhale, find depth. Warrior two. Drag your right heel underneath you as you lift your left foot off the ground. Half moon, elevating through the outside of your left ankle. Bend your right knee, roll your left hip down as you elevate through the inside of your left ankle. Stretch your skull forward as you lift through your left foot. Leaning out. Exhale, drive to straighten your right leg. Lengthen the top of your skull forward. Bend your right knee. Let your left foot land in its starting position. Peel yourself open through wide leg forward fold preparation. And then open warrior two to the back of the mat. Left knee bends deeply. Open through your arms. Take an inhale. Exhale, lean out, half moon. Drag your left foot underneath you so you can pluck your right foot off the ground with grace. Lengthen through the top of the skull. Breathe into this position. And then bend your left knee. Feel your right hip rolling towards the floor, embracing gravity. Feel your right ankle defying gravity. Know that we're always playing these games within ourselves, this push and this pull, this receiving and this giving. And in this posture, the effort is very much the same. Exhale, straightening through your left leg. Bend your left knee. Let your right foot land in its starting position. Peel yourself open. Take an inhale. Exhale, fold down. Again, as you get here, plant your hands, bend your knees, and circle the shoulders around the wrists a few times. Wave into the hips. Really what we're trying to do here is be buoyant. You were just in some very rigid, specific spots, and those are great for technique and for balance and for structure. And right now, you don't want to be structured. You want to be, riding the wave of energetic inspiration, if you will. From here, straighten your legs and fold. And then inhale, rise up to stand. Push into your right foot, step your left foot up to the top of the mat. Take an inhale, and exhale, sit all the way down to the floor. Bring your hands behind your head, elbows open wide, and then bring your knees in towards your chest. Lift your chest up more, and then reach your hands forward. See if that helps you lift your chest up more. From this position, this will be our starting spot. Right knee comes into the chest more, left leg goes long. Return to center. Switch. Left knee comes into the chest more, right leg goes long. Return to center. Switch. 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 Return to center. Cross your ankles. Roll over your shins. Find your way onto hands and knees. As you find hands and knees, take a few rounds of cat-cow here. So inhale, curve the chest out, open your heart. And then exhale, round in. Inhale, curve the chest out, open your heart. Exhale, round in. Inhale, curve the chest out, open your heart. Exhale, round in. Inhale, return to neutral. Tuck the toes, lift your knees. From here, push into your right hand firmly. Grip the ground. Float your left hand off the ground. Lift your right foot up. Step your right foot through to the left side of the mat. Place your left hand just to the outside of the right side of your mat. So many sides. And then exhale, push into reverse tabletop. Lower your hips down. Return to center. Left hand symmetrical with right, right foot symmetrical with left. Right hand lifts, left foot lifts. Flirt with the instability here. And then step the left foot through. Right hand lands behind your back, fingers pointing away. Exhale, push up as your left foot lands. Sit your hips back down. Return to center. Right hand, left foot symmetrical. Left hand, right foot lift. Heel open. Left hand, right foot land. Drive up. Sit down, return to center. Right hand, left foot lift, left foot threads through, right hand plants behind the back, drive your hips up, elevate, sit down, return to center. Right hand plants, left hand lifts, right foot lifts, right foot threads through, left hand plants behind your back, drive, sit, return to center. Left hand plants, right foot plants, right hand, left foot lift, thread through, right hand plants behind the back, drive up, lifting your chest. Sit down, return to center, symmetrical floating tabletop. Last time here, right foot lifts, left hand lifts, thread through, right foot plants, left hand plants, drive up. Sit down, return to center. Right hand lifts, left foot lifts, thread through, left foot, right hand plant, drive. Lift, sit, return, downward facing dog. Feel length in your spine, feel energy in your legs. Bend elbows and knees, look forward. Pull yourself through into locust pose, like a rock skipping across the water. Feel all the back body strength here helping you hold and compose this shape. Plant your fingertips on the floor. Inhale, lift your chest up. Create some space. Stay active in your legs. Lower down. Inhale, reach your hands back behind you. Feel the back body alive and engaged. Place your hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale, lift, up. Exhale, wave, back, downward, facing dog. Drive into your hands here. Grip the ground, look forward, lift heels, bend knees, bottom of your exhale. Step or float feet through your hands to find a seat. As you sit down, take a moment here. Reach your hands forward, engage your core, and then slowly roll down to your back to the count of 10, 9, 8, 7. C-curve the spine as much as possible. Feel spinal flexion. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As you land, drag your heels underneath you. Drive your triceps into the floor and lift your hips up off the ground. Push through your big toes. Create energy, elevating your hips towards the sky. Bridge pose. Find your stability. Find your lift off. And lower. Try to just let your hips touch the floor. Keep your spine elevated. Breathe into your chest. Notice how it's more available in this moment. Take an inhale to prepare. On your exhale, push down through your feet. Lift through your hips again. Try to have an equal push through both feet. Next to impossible, but you can strive towards it. Hold your stability here. Lean into this structure. Ground down through your big toes. Lower your hips to the floor. Take 2 breaths here. Exhale clears. Inhale begins breath 1. Exhale clears. Inhale begins breath 2. Exhale clears. Inhale reaches hands up to sky. Exhale, slowly begin to C-curve the spine, lifting chest, shoulders off the ground. Try to roll up in a straight line. Then lift your feet up, long through the legs. Then begin to lift your chest up again, elevating your heart. And then cross your shins. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, fold down. Drop in a bit. See how you can sink into this space. Find the softness. Notice how active, alert, and alive your body is here. Inhale to rise. Straighten your legs out in front of you. Adjust yourself for Dandasana. Seated staff pose, longest spine, finding the fold at your hip crease. Inhale, reach your hands up. Paschimottanasana, fold forward. Four more breaths here. Stay here or place your hands behind your knees in front of your hips. L-sit or L-sit prep. Inhale. Exhale, push down, lift up. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. Lift your chest, shoulders on back body. Everybody inhales to elevate away from the floor. And then cross your shins, left in front of right. Of course, if you take double pigeon or lotus pose, by all means, move yourself in that direction. Honor your practice. I find that these preparatory positions really serve me for creating movement through my hips, not just internal and external rotation. And so that's the reason I choose to take them. And you have your own prerogative and your own perspective on your practice. And while, of course, you're following this journey in some capacity, you also want to acknowledge your perspective because it matters and it gives you information around your aim, around your intentions, both subtle and direct. Linger down just a bit more. Find your folding space. Inhale to rise. Straighten your legs out in front of you. Set yourself up for your Dandasana, seated staff pose. Drive your heels down, lift your chest up, and then fold down. Option to stay here, or another round of L-sit or L-sit prep. L-sit prep is just pushing your hands down, lifting your hips, and dragging your feet towards your fingertips. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to lift up. Hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, release on 1. Nice work. Plant your right foot down. Swing your left leg into internal rotation and take the left ankle behind you. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, fold. Keep trying to roll your left hip forward here. It's not always easy, but it is worth it. Feel the ability to push your right heel down and just keep leveraging yourself forward to the best of your ability till you find the sensation that speaks to you. Inhale, rise up. Swing around and switch your side. Left leg unravels, straightens. Right leg, internal rotation, bends. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, fold down. Really try to anchor into your left heel. Try to lengthen through your skull. Let yourself feel the reach. Feel the work. And then inhale, rise. Return to center. Any seat that's comfortable. Let your hands sit on your lap. Close your eyes. Feel the length in your spine. One thing I like to do here sometimes is just catch my front shin and lift my chest up a little bit. And it kind of helps me roll my front hip points forward. And I find it to be a much more vertical seat. So again, if you're someone that needs that type of assistance, maybe that's advice to acknowledge. And if you're someone with much easier movement through the hips, maybe it's advice you don't need. Either way, exhale to clear your system. Inhale halfway. Inhale complete. Exhale to clear. Inhale halfway. Inhale complete. Exhale to clear. Inhale halfway. Inhale complete. Exhale halfway. Exhale to clear. Inhale halfway. Inhale complete. Exhale halfway. Exhale to clear. Inhale halfway. Inhale complete. Exhaling in 3 parts. Part 1, part 2, part 3. Inhale halfway. Inhale complete. Again, exhaling in 3 parts. Part 1, part 2, part 3. Inhale halfway. Inhale complete. Exhaling in 4 parts. Part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. Inhale halfway. Inhale complete. Exhaling in 4 parts. Part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. Single deep inhale, stretch capacity. Audible exhale, let go of everything. As you move into this space that is uniquely your own, feel free to continue to incorporate any part of this breathing pattern we've just practiced in a way that serves you. Feel free to stay seated in meditation for as long as you need to, or feel free to roll onto your back and find your Shavasana, settling into your own simple and supported space. As always, y'all, it truly is such a pleasure to share space with you. Thank you so much for being part of this community. I look forward to practicing with you again soon. Have an amazing rest of your day. Peace.